I would say that before we get into any of the nuts and bolts of like, what to invest in, how much, what do I do first, what's the process, what are the products, the number one most important thing you have to decide and determine is why. Why do you want to be financially better? Why do you want to be healthier? I add those because I think those two go hand in hand, and that's where I make the most difference in people's lives, is in the financial world and in the health world. And I think it's equally important, if not more important, to be healthy because, like, let's face it, you save all this money. If you're not healthy, guess what? It ain't gonna do you any good. You're gonna feel like shit and have all this money. So what? Right. So the first thing we have to determine is why. You have to have a good reason for it. It's hard to have the discipline to invest properly, to save properly, or to do anything. I see it in the fitness business all day. I want to lose weight. Why? Oh, I'm going on a cruise in 6 weeks. Okay. They're super diligent for 6 weeks, and that's their why, and that's important to them. But guess what happens after the 6 weeks? There's no more cruise. So screw it. I don't have to be healthy anymore. I know I have to be. I know I should be. I know society tells me I'm supposed to. But if you don't have a strong enough why as to why you need to do it, you're always going to be, when times get tough, when the money's not rolling in, when it's 6 a.m., 5 a.m., and you need to get up and do that workout, it's going to fall by the wayside if that why is not strong enough.
Amen.
Wait,
yes.
So then how do you create a stronger why if you really are just trying, how do you get into that mindset then?
That's a great question. And that's, and I know when you're younger, there's less of a why. But the way to do that, Olivia, is to think bigger than yourself. Like, even if you're not married or have a partner or have kids, like, obviously if you have a partner and have kids, that's easy. Like, I need to do it for them, right? So let me give you an example of a strong why. And the reason that the biggest reason that we want to be financially secure is to have freedom, or to be healthy, to have freedom, to not be restricted to a chair or a wheelchair or a ventilator. It's to have freedom, to be free to do what you want to do. The more money you have, guess what? The more you can do what you want to do. That's the way it is. The healthier you are, the more you can do. You can go on hikes, you can run, you can do whatever you want to do. You're not beholden to sickness. So the number one thing is, the reason we want to do this is for freedom. But to Olivia's question, you just have to do some soul searching. Is supporting your family the most important thing? Okay, I don't have a family, so that's not going to be the most important thing. Pursuing creative interests, maybe. That's your why. Doesn't have to be, but it's something that is bigger than yourself, is going to be a stronger why. Let me give you an example. I was doing a presentation not dissimilar to this, but it wasn't focused on women, but it was focused on financial literacy at a high school in Detroit many years ago. And this high school is not in a nice area. And that's why we were doing the presentation there, because they need this information. So I had the same part of my presentation of why. Why do you want to be wealthy? That's the first thing you have to understand and answer. And of course, the kids had, I want to drive a Bentley. I want to, that's why. I'm like, not what I'm really referring to as a strong why. I want to have a YouTube channel. But so this one young lady raised her hand and she said, I want to have enough money so I can move my mama to a white neighborhood so she doesn't have to go through this drama. And I'm like, what do you mean? What kind of drama? Killings, drug overdoses, shootings, stabbings, robbery. I'm like, that's a strong why.
He's gonna be rich.
Yeah. That's a strong, that's like when she doesn't feel like doing something, when she doesn't feel like going to school, when she's in college or whatever, or she's trying to get into college and she thinks about that why, she's not going to, hit her snooze button. She's going to go and do it even though if it sucks, because that's her why. Now maybe all of our whys aren't that strong, but if you can kind of step outside of yourself and say, okay, like who relies on me? Like who do I want to support? What do I want to accomplish? It's going to be stronger and you're going to be more apt to achieve that goal when it gets hard. Because anyone can do it when it's easy. Like when the money's rolling in, I have tons of extra money, and it's good, or it's January and I'm hitting the gym every day. That's the easy part. But when in March and April, in July, or when money's tight, that's when you got to dig and get to that why. Does that make sense?